Well, thanks for visiting us this morning at ktalnews.com. I'm meteorologist Josh Marces, and this is your Thursday morning forecast update. Glad you checked in today. This is probably going to be our most significant stretch of weather that we've had maybe since May or June. We're looking at a few days of thunderstorms here. There's some isolated potential to see some severe weather and some heavy rain here through Friday, and there's some question marks about Saturday. I think some rain will be around at least early in the day, but we'll have an update on that weekend forecast coming up in just a moment. But for today, there is a risk of seeing some severe thunderstorms later this afternoon, this evening. We will be dry in most areas through the morning. We have just a little bit of rain that is popping up in Arkansas here. You can see there's a warm front that's passing through this morning. So after a couple of pleasant days here, we'll feel that surge in heat and humidity today out ahead of this storm system. Look at all these storms right on the Kansas-Oklahoma border. These will shift south towards us today. The storms will weaken before they reach us this afternoon, but that rush of cool air outflow from the storms will hit the hot and humid conditions that we have today, and it will act to kind of overturn the atmosphere, and we'll see quite a few storms pop up by the mid to late afternoon. We'll get to that in just a moment. Let me give you the temperatures here in the 60s and 70s, so the early day temperatures feeling quite nice here, but we'll feel that ramp up in the heat and humidity today. Most areas will wind up in the 80s, but the rain likely gets in early enough north of I-30 to hold locations there in the 80s, and the heat index will actually be up to about 105 today, so it's borderline heat advisory. So if you are working outside, you'll notice the difference today, so make sure you're staying hydrated today as well. There's the severe storm risk. I would not be surprised at some point today if this is upgraded to a level 2. Slight risk, meaning some scattered severe storms are possible. Marginal risk means they're really only expecting a handful of severe storms here. Wind is going to be the main risk, but as we go through the next day or so, I would not be surprised to see some roadway flooding as well. Can't rule out some hail, and the tornado threat is low. It's not zero, so there is some isolated potential to see a brief spin up today as well, but it does appear that wind will be the most significant issue. And given some of the drought conditions the past few weeks, some of the trees are more brittle, especially the branches, so we may see some more power outages today if we can get some high winds going with the storms, which I do think is possible, especially if they come in during the warmest part of the day here. So look at your Robinson Futurecast. This model here is our in-house model. Most of the forecast models are kind of highlighting that 2 to 4 p.m. time frame is when these storms will begin to pop up here north of I-30. Our in-house model may be running just a little quick. It does show the storms down to Shreveport by about 5 p.m. today, which would time out for the commute home. I think it may be a little later than that in Shreveport, but if you do have some students here heading off to school this morning along I-30, including Texarkana, those storms possibly could time out with classes letting out later today. So just make sure your kids do have a safe way to get home this afternoon, this evening. And the storms will likely dissipate tonight, but this boundary, this front that's to the north of us, will get a chance to recharge overnight, and it does send another round of storms in tomorrow morning. We would have to watch those storms early tomorrow, maybe for some wind as well. There's a little sliver of the Arcaltex that's included in the severe weather outlook tomorrow. And as far as Saturday, again, we'll probably see the rain wrap up Friday evening, but we are showing some storms out there, especially early in the day Saturday. So there is some uncertainty to the afternoon forecast. Of course, I know a lot of you may be traveling to college football games. We have the Kickoff Classic here in Shreveport, so we'll be keeping an eye on that forecast. Can't guarantee you it's going to be completely dry there on Saturday. There's a look at the rainfall totals. Most of this will come in over the next 48 hours, so still some model consistency here, showing 2 to 3 inches of rain, Arkansas down through Louisiana, so that's why we do expect to see maybe an isolated flood risk over the next few days here. This front that's coming in is going to cool us down, so we're down into the 80s Friday as well as Saturday. Should read 86 on Sunday. I'll jump in and correct that, but we'll be in the mid 80s on Sunday. And next week's looking pleasant. We'll be drier with highs in the upper 80s and low 90s.